What about red meat?
What about fruit?
What about fat?
What about carbs?
Run it through the lab. Welcome to the Nutragrammatron Lab. In this lab, we evaluate the nutrient composition of foods using a standardized 100-calorie framework. We are not medical doctors, and this content is not medical advice. Our focus is strictly on measurable nutrient density, ingredient quality, and metabolic characteristics of the food itself. The Nutragrammatron does not classify foods as good or bad. It evaluates what is present per calorie using consistent, transparent criteria. Some foods can be consumed regularly in meaningful amounts without accumulating nutritional strain over time. Others are better understood as situational, appropriate in certain contexts, but not necessarily as staples. Our objective is clarity, structured evaluation, consistency. Today's subject is banana. Per 100 calories, this subject provides approximately 1.22 grams of protein, 25.67 grams carbohydrates, 0.37 grams fat, 2.92 grams fiber, and 1.12 milligrams of sodium. The macro index evaluates protein density and the quality of carbohydrates and fats per 100 calories. Whole food carbohydrates are neutral. Refined sugars and refined flours trigger deductions. Fat quality is evaluated using cardiovascular outcome data. Industrial trans fats receive the strongest penalty. Highly processed fats may receive a deduction. Saturated fat density may receive a moderate deduction relative to unsaturated sources. The macrogram index score for this subject is 14 out of 20. The micro index evaluates total vitamin and mineral return per calorie. We assess essential vitamins including A, C, D, E, K, and the B complex, along with minerals such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, zinc, selenium, phosphorus, and manganese. Higher percentages of daily value per 100 calories earn more points. Ultra-processed fortification may receive a processing deduction. The microgram index score for this subject is 14 out of 20. The fiber index measures grams of fiber per 100 calories and fiber quality. Soluble and fermentable fibers with documented metabolic effects may increase the score. Extremely low fiber density reduces the score. Synthetic or isolated fiber additives may trigger a deduction. The fibrogram index score for this subject is 14 out of 20. The sodium index evaluates sodium concentration per 100 calories. Naturally low sodium whole foods score higher. As sodium density increases, points are deducted. When relevant, potassium balance is considered, as higher potassium relative to sodium is associated with improved cardiovascular outcomes. The sodiogram index score for this subject is 20 out of 20. The metabolic index evaluates glycemic load, degree of processing, and expected blood sugar response. Whole, intact foods with moderate glucose response score higher than refined carbohydrates or added sugars. Added sugars trigger an additional deduction due to glycemic load without corresponding nutrient density. Foods associated with rapid absorption or low satiety relative to calories may lose points. The glycogram index score for this subject is 20 out of 20. Now that we've calculated the 5 sub-indices, we can now reveal the total Nutragrammatron score for this subject. Nutragrammatron score for bananas is 82. This places it in the strong tier classification. All right, let's look at some of the key nutrients. These nutrients contribute to the overall micro and macronutrient density per calorie, and they help explain the final score. Here's where bananas begin to show their structure. Carbohydrate, it comes in at 25.67 grams, with 13.74 grams of that as sugar. This is what gives bananas their quick, accessible energy profile. Fiber sits at 2.92 grams, which helps slow digestion slightly and provides some structural balance to those carbohydrates. Protein is low at 1.22 grams, and fat is nearly non-existent at 0.37 grams. So this is clearly a carbohydrate-dominant food. Now looking at the micronutrients, vitamin B6 comes in at 0.412 milligrams, which is about 24.2% of your daily value. This is the most meaningful micronutrient contribution in banana and plays a role in energy metabolism. Vitamin C is present at 9.78 milligrams, just above that 10% daily value mark at 10.9% of daily value. So it contributes modest antioxidant support. Potassium is often associated with bananas, but in this case, it only contributes about 8% of the daily value. Within the Nutragrammatron system, that level is too small to meaningfully influence the overall score. So while bananas do provide some useful micronutrients, their profile is primarily driven by carbohydrates with moderate fiber and limited protein and fat support. This has been the Nutragrammatron Lab. Structured evaluation, transparent criteria, consistent analysis. Classification complete.